Cal Forever here. Wow, the energy has totally shifted from this morning. My air conditioner won't work in this van. Like this thing, like it won't turn all the way over. And so like this is like a new van. It only has 60,000 miles on it. I spent like 13 grand on this van and the air conditioner doesn't work. Fuck. I'm in the desert. I'm on my way to Phoenix. I'm actually on my way to LA. I'm going to the beach. And man, I did a video about this and I just deleted the video because it's like, man, I was too heated in the moment. I actually wasn't like, there was energy there. And it's not like I'm like really pissed off or blaming or directing it at anyone. It's just like the honesty. So this is what happened this morning. You know, I get up, I had these beautiful dreams, like it was weird. In this dream, there was like this old, long wooden boat. And all of these gnomes were like worshiping this boat and trying to manifest something with this wooden boat. I might need to interpret this dream. I'm trying to remember a lot of it. But part of the dream was about the beach and going to LA and about a few other things. It was weird. It was like my great Aunt Mary was in the dream. And it makes me think like, this is probably something important for people to hear. Like, maybe not, I don't know. Like, my Aunt Mary tried to add me on Facebook and I deleted the request because I'm thinking like, man, I like my family, but some of the things that I post on my Facebook about spiritual things, it's like, I don't really want my family to read some of that. I don't really, they won't understand some of those things. And I don't know, but maybe that's kind of what that dream was about. It's like, my great aunt's probably in her 70s now, and it's like, talking about aliens and yours, like I have a post that talks about alien experiences of being on ships, and I'm just thinking like, my great aunt reads that. She's gonna go, what the F? Anyways, I don't want to spin off on that. So I get up out of that dream and I go in the kitchen to make my morning tea, and I asked my roommate Jimbo to participate in some of the duties of the house, like recyclables, and I knew before I asked him that he was going to try to make some excuse, that he's going to try to avoid it, and that's exactly why I wanted to do that. Like, I didn't want conflict or confrontation. I just wanted respect. Like, I don't want to let people get away with certain things or behaviors, because then that kind of adds to this shadow that I'm trying to heal. So it's like trying to heal this masculine part of myself. And it just kind of starts to trigger me. That's just how the energy is. And maybe it's not even me. And he's just like kind of making excuses and being manipulative. And then he's like, oh, don't get all pissed off. And it's like, what? Really? You don't say that, because then that fucking pisses me off even more. Like, no, I'm getting pissed off because you're being manipulative, disrespectful, and not listening to me, right? It ain't about the trash. It's about you showing me respect. It's about you. It's about boundaries. It's about respect, right? So, like, I'm just like, what the fuck? And so I grabbed the recyclables and took it in his room and threw it on his bed and was like, you need to fucking participate in the house duties. I'm like, you're about to get kicked out because you're not paying rent, this and that. And yeah, he is getting kicked out now. And then I went up in my loft to get stuff so that I could go to LA. And I'm like, yeah, this dream is telling me to go to LA and to go to the beach and just chill and relax. Look at how beautiful this is. The desert's awesome. Like, it's just like endless, like, mountains and saguaros. And it's so green right now this time of year. So we've had so much snow and rain. But anyways, when I was in my loft, I started like kind of going off on him a little bit. I wasn't actually very loud, but my window was open. And I was just kind of like, dude, you're manipulative, you're a narcissist, you're gonna get kicked out, you're disrespectful. And like, I could sit there and think like, God, there's something wrong with me, I'm responding to this badly. But it's like, there's my other roommate and probably my other roommate are both getting triggered by him, and there's issues. There's been arguments between him and my other roommate that were fairly aggressive. And so it's like, it's not just me, you know, he is not being a kind, loving, respectful person. I want to say compassionate. And I have compassion for Jimbo because, you know, he is getting kicked out, and it's like, this is devastating to him. And he thinks like he'll probably play the victim about it, like what happened to the couch freeloader kid that I had to call the police on. So anyways, I go out in my van, and then this police pulls up and starts talking with me, and apparently someone called the police because they thought I was yelling at a little kid. And it's like, I'm like, well, Jimmy is like a little kid, even though he's like in his 50s. It's like, you have to talk to him like he's a little kid. He acts like an immature kid. You know, there's one thing with connecting with your inner child and being childlike, like the wise child, and there's another thing about being immature. He's a good example of that immaturity. And so apparently someone thought I was yelling at a little kid, and so that's why the police showed up. And then I'm glad the police showed up because it just solidified the resolution of this even more, because this was not going anywhere good. This was a repeated issue with someone that I just do not get along with. And it's not me, because, you know, I'm great at getting along with people. It's just when someone doesn't want to change, when someone doesn't want to show you respect or do things considerately, be a considerate person of other people, there's like, no one's gonna fucking get along with that person except the person like how I was. And this is how this shadow developed. The person how I was when I was in high school, where I was so passive and loving and tolerating of people walking all over me and harming me. And so it's like, this is why I like interacted with him and tried to get him to take responsibility of household duties. It's like, you know, I'm not gonna let Jimbo walk all over me and be disrespectful. And that's why it's like, I took the recyclables in his room and put them on his bed. Like, no, you deal with this, right? Like, why are you talking about changing the battery in this car that is not even yours? What? You know, that's not your thing to deal with. That's not your car. You know? Like, what the fuck? That's just manipulation and an excuse to avoid taking out the recyclables. You know? It's all like all these silly little things, and it's not about these silly little things. It's about the relationship and the disrespect and the inconsideration and lack of kindness and love. You know, this person claims to be a sensitive person, and this what kind of gets to me. Like, sensitive people, like I've messed up and hurt other people, but because I'm sensitive and empathic, like, I have a conscience and I feel bad. I feel like, okay, I did something wrong. I need to apologize to this person, and like, you know, I was acting out of control. I'm sorry that I did that. But it's like, this person has no like remorse or admittance of like, you know, I did something wrong. So therefore it's like, you're not really sensitive. You're just lying to yourself because you want to be spiritual. You're not going through ascension symptoms. You're probably having a minor psychic opening because you're meditating or something. I don't know. So, yeah. I'm going to LA. I'm almost to Phoenix. So, I don't know how fun this trip is going to be. It's kind of been brewing for a while. Like, I've been wanting to go to LA. And, I mean, LA's insane with traffic. Man. So, pretty much, like, the police said, like, yeah, you need to make kind of a plan where because some people you just don't get along with, and you're not getting along with this guy, and it's like, if the police are called again, it'll be a domestic violence thing, and one of you will have to go to jail. And that is like, I don't want to deal with that. You know? We don't want to deal with this shit. Like, come on. People just need to be respectful. People like Jimbo's the kind of person that loves to poke the bear. And my dad, honestly, is that kind of person too. And I've had this same situation with my dad, where it's like, I'm getting triggered, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting triggered, and I've been so passive about this because I don't know how to deal with it, and then I just finally explode. And it's like, then I look like the crazy one. My dad looks completely innocent, but I'm sitting there obviously aggravated and upset about something, and it doesn't have to be mental illness. I can be upset about shit that happened in my past. I can be upset about how my dad's treating me, and then when my dad's sitting there just arguing with me, poking the bear, aggravating me even more, and then my dad gets to manifest what he wants and to call me fucking crazy, like, oh, yep, see, Calvin needs to be on medicine. It's like, no, I don't need to be on medicine. I need to be loved. And the thing is like, my dad loves me so much, but he's not doing it in the way, like, there's something off, right? My dad thinks he's right. There's this stubbornness where my dad's not seeing like, oh, actually, I'm not responding to Calvin and listening to him and respecting him in the way that he needs to be respected. And then I'm complaining about him disrespecting me, and I haven't even acknowledged to him that I even feel disrespected by him. Right? I'm the scapegoat of the family. Oh, one of my other roommates, he's awesome. He has his own YouTube too, and one of the things he was talking about was the scapegoat. And I always thought I was a scapegoat, but I didn't really realize what a scapegoat was. Where that term scapegoat comes from is from the Israelites, the Jews, where they would take a goat and they would put all of their bad sins on this goat and leave it out in the desert to die. And that way it would purify them of their sins. So scapegoat is a family member where, like, my family projects their insanity onto me, their craziness, their mental illness onto me, and then they see me as a mentally ill person, like a crazy person, and they're, right? That's my situation. And I'm not actually crazy. I'm not mentally ill. I guess I could fit the label high-functioning autism, but what is high-functioning autism? It's someone that's a newer, evolving human. That is what it is. And, so, like, autism is not mental illness. It's a different neurological wiring, and it's not a disorder. That's how people are like, oh, a neurological disorder. No, disorder means that it's just not neurotypical, but it doesn't mean that the neurological ordering of someone with autism is inferior to someone that's neurotypical. Oftentimes, neurotypical people are inferior to these beautiful neurological wirings of people with high-functioning autism that are so highly gifted. So it's really the other way around. Like, I like thinking like this. I like being sensitive. I like being more aware and thinking this unique way. It's a good thing. I like being more compassionate and having affective empathy. It's great. So, yeah, like, I'm the scapegoat of the family. I'm not just the black sheep. I'm the scapegoat, where my family projects all their issues onto me so that they don't have to deal with it. Like, I had a friend, he's like, you know, your parents taking care of you and projecting all their things onto you is actually keeping their marriage together. And I didn't really understand that when my friend said that, but it's true. You know, like, ever since I was young, my parents and my family projected all of their shit onto me. Oh, take him to the doctors, or something wrong with Calvin. And there really was not anything wrong with me. Really was not anything wrong with me. And then I was put on medications, which then there was something wrong with me, because the medications fuck with your neurochemistry badly. They're bad for you, like for your brain, for your emotions. It's terrible for you. So, what I realized 4 years ago is that I didn't have brain damage like my dad was telling me I had. You know, I'm like seeing auras and energy and stuff because I'm psychic. I'm having a psychic opening. And I'm trying to explain that to my dad. My dad's like, oh, you have brain damage. There's something wrong with you. And it's like, I woke up out of that conditioning, and I don't totally blame my parents, because they were conditioned by the doctors that don't understand what the spiritual things are. And you know, there's probably some people that are mentally ill, but there's some people like me that are not mentally ill that are misunderstood. And so I'm here to stand up for the people that were misunderstood. And that's why I went through this. And you know, I broke free of that conditioning, and I'm like, why the fuck am I on medicine? I was on like one pill, and it's like, why the fuck am I on this? It doesn't help. And then I got off of it, and it was like, whoa, I can see in color again. I can feel again. I'm happy, you know? And then every time I was around my parents, like, I was being myself, and then it would lead into arguments, which was totally not my fault. You know? There was one moment where I was talking with my family and like pretty much saying like, you know, I'm going through a lot of changes right now. I'm passionate about these things. These things scare me. And I'm pretty much just asking for love. And my family's sitting there watching the fucking football game. And I hate football. And I'm like, I got pissed. And I should have gotten pissed. And I ripped out the HDMI cord and threw it at the projection screen. And it's like, yep, now I'm pissed. You're not listening to me, right? I'm seeing angels. I'm psychic. This is who I am, and I love being this person. But you're sitting there giving more respect to the goddamn football game than my own heart. So I feel like I shouldn't let this get to me, but it's like, the truth is like, you know, anyone would be pissed off. Anyone would be upset, would be sad, would be hurt. And they would feel very alone. And I guess I felt very alone. I felt unloved. And I still feel unloved because I still feel unseen. Because my family is still projecting that scapegoatism onto me. Like they're projecting their insanity, their lack of love, their lack of, like, I mean, God, there's this one time I saw my mom and my sister, and the way that they were acting was insane. They were freaking out over the littlest thing in this, like, anxious monkey mind. And I'm just like, just chill, guys. Like, it's okay that I parked the car here. This is actually a legal parking spot. Like, what are you mad about? Oh, you're going to be late? And it's just like this. like, whoa. And you guys are calling me mentally ill. You're mentally ill, not me. Not me. What am I mentally ill about, right? I'm upset about something real, and you guys are like, that's not even real because we're in denial of that. So, Cal Forever here, Spiritual Journal Flow. Thanks for listening to my rant. Peace.